Hey everyone.
Yo, how's it
It
going?
is.
Who's that?
It is I.
That's a deep
Oh,
voice.
ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the Stress Cast. I am the Sorting Helmet here, and this is.
Miacidae, and we have a guest today.
Greetings. The name is Zotlan.
Yep. So this is Zotlan, the guy that is behind quite a few number of projects and is a current dev on the Project Iron Crown overhaul or backport. Not even sure what to call it. Anyways, y'all know me as Sorting Helmet. I do silly YouTube videos known for I don't really edit, and I got several things going up. Yossi, go ahead and
I'm Miacidae. I do stupid challenges. I just do fun videos. And probably know me at this point for the No Hope Estate, which is the no stun, no heal, no stress healing Darkest Dungeon playthrough, on top of a few other things going on. And then, Zot, I think you want to introduce yourself a little bit more?
Or why not? I am, as mentioned before, one of the developers for Project Iron Crown, both the overhaul and the vanilla backports. I'm the in general, and I'm also one of the moderators for the Iron Crown server.
yep.
I help
You're
with
selling
stuff
yourself a
mostly.
little short there.
On
You
top of
also
however
help with
many mods you've made.
You help with coding, mod plays, fighting game aficionado as well. That's part of heart and soul. And he's a metalhead. You can probably name every metal group from here to Timbuktu.
Probably more than me, and I grew up with metal.
I don't know about
But
every.
anyways, today it's been a minute since the last stress cast and all that stuff. We're trying to do this a little bit more official, but it's gonna be scuffed as always. Since we did the last episode, we had the 64-bit patch. The blessed 64-bit patch. Rat Dungeon is real.
Now, technically, we've had access to the 64-bit patch for a while. It was just in beta, and the beta has gone public. That being said, everyone has access to it now. It is available to everyone. You don't have to opt in. Please, please, please use it.
Yeah,
I would recommend it.
it basically I get comments here and there in some of my videos that go, "What's the 64-bit patch?" I don't understand. It's like 32-bit is limited to 4 gigabit, right? 64-bit is limited to 18 exabyte. It's 4 billion or 4 something absurd number. No computer in the world is going to hit that limit. Just use this 64-bit. Now, your Darkest Dungeon might run a little bit more laggy if you're on a really old potato, but only slightly. I highly recommend running it. Basically, what 64-bit is, it's basically the mythical rat dungeon that we've seen kind of poking around, and since the last dev stream by Red Hook, someone asked about, what is rat dungeon? And they said it's just the developer side of the 64-bit patch. That's all it was, you know.
I feel disappointing just because. Really, that's the name you choose?
Yes, 64-bit patch actually is Rat Dungeon, so you don't need to speculate anymore. They came out and announced it.
Imagine if it was actually a content update. Imagine, like,
It would be rather interesting, that's for sure.
because Rat Dungeon is referencing some Lovecraftian work and stuff like that too. And it's like,
Now, my original thought on it was because they were testing very big community mods, was that they were testing Vermintide on the 64-bit patch just to make sure that was working. I called that way back when, but I guess I was somewhat right.
that seemed to be like the common consensus with a lot of people on like Reddit and stuff. They thought like Vermintide is like the really big mod that a lot of people know of. Iris does amazing work on that mod, and everyone else involved, Lego, Joe, I don't know his full name, but Lego and all the others.
Maybe.
Oh, what was that? Zot?
I don't know, I just agreement. I will say that
gotcha.
I saw a lot of people were thinking that they're going to make the Vermintide mod an official part of the game, which is I would have so many legal issues.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah,
a
when they
different
need to
brand.
wouldn't they need to like broker a deal with 40K themselves and shit?
Yeah, it's
to do
Games
that?
Workshop who is very much not a fan of such things. Although I guess
Yeah,
they
I'm-
are in like warships, World of Warships, I think.
I mean,
They do
we've
some
already
collabs,
got Games Workshop has been a hit and miss over the last few years. Like
Oh, that's an understatement.
Yeah. The understatement of the century there. When I was looking at the Steam discussion about this update, when they announced, hey, guys, we have a new Darkest Dungeon update. Oh my god, the Steam users just went, oh my god, you're breaking mods. No. I'm like, no. No.
Yeah.
It's
No mods were actually really broken from this, is my understanding.
Mods
they all got
that
help.
are mods that are already released were not affected directly. There is one small bug that's slightly related, which is for the Steam uploader, but that can also be fixed locally. Other than that, the game is just better.
Yeah, and that was just the colors, right?
Ignoring the few bugs,
Huh.
it's literally just a file
Is that
path
why
that
some of
needs
my
to be fixed.
tooltips had weird colors for a day or so?
Yeah, so all
Yes.
they need to do is update the colors on the tooltips, and otherwise they didn't appear as the right colors. So as the mod makers are catching them, they're basically updating them. That's why you might be seeing weird colors for a day or two on some of your mods, or if they're not being updated, they might just be bright pink. That's the only bug that really got caught for actual mods.
That was pink.
Yeah, on the Uncrowned, for me it was pink.
Yeah, that's the missing color technically. The actual issue is that there's a file called where is it again? 1 second.
Wasn't it like
Christ.
literally delete one or two characters in the code or something?
I found it.
I thought it was just add an extra dot or something.
It's a file called projectpaths.txt. It's
Huh.
all it does is that it has a path in it which is just go back one folder. But since they now have both a 64 and 32-bit folder, it needs to go back 2 folders, and that's all they need to change.
And yeah, they didn't. Which I think they're saying they're working on, but that's an upcoming update, right?
Yeah. Poor Red Hook though. They got a lot of updates going on.
Yeah,
They're
they
like
are rather busy, and will be for a while.
there is one other bug that got introduced, which I'm hoping it gets fixed sooner than later. The endless wave.
There was actually a few, but the biggest one was with the endless waves, or any mod that used the endless waves, right?
Yeah, where you try to get your loot and it goes, nope, sucked into the void. Fuck you, get fucked.
Which also
So it's got-
includes any loot that you would get from, or your trinkets back from characters that were dead, which happened to me a few times. That includes like the Night Parade. So that happened to me on the Night Parade where a character died, because that uses the same endless waves from Color of Madness. And I had a character die on that, and then when I went to go get the loot from them, the loot box closed and I lost all those trinkets. It also happened on, for some reason, in the Darkest Dungeon, and on the Deathmaster fight, which I didn't know used Endless Wave. But yeah, it sucks up the loot, and bye-bye, see you later.
I learned something today.
Yeah.
But there's a few other very small bugs that I had found I had totally forgotten about until this. Where, remember the tooltips were doubling?
Yeah, and
I believe that has been fixed already.
Oh, has it?
I think.
Because last I played last week, it didn't. It wasn't on my Foreigner.
Might be
Might
something
need to,
that the modders
sub
can
unsub?
fix on brand. I think I saw Iris fix it for Hedge Knight.
Okay.
Yeah, Hedge Knight is fixed. I haven't seen it on him. I've used him quite a bit, but I haven't used Axolotl / Foreigner. I'm not. What is the proper name for him? Is it Foreigner or Axolotl?
I think it's Foreigner, and then the canon name is Axolotl. I always get that confused.
Yes. The actual class name is Foreigner, and then the modern canon name is Axolotl. A bit confusing.
Well, that makes it a lot easier to say. There's another small little bug, but it's just more jank for me and other people that use OBS. And I think Thick Veiny Sausage also has this issue. Darkest Dungeon does not play well with OBS.
It never has.
It never has.
I was having problem with it during... Oh, sorry, go on, Zot.
Oh, I was just gonna say that it always sucked with OBS because I also recorded before. It just got worse for some people.
It's just weird.
I know nothing changed for the real me.
And he's got like probably more hours than anyone combined on fucking DD1. The real me's got a lot of hours.
Like
in
9,000 or
Dark
something like
Extension.
that.
8 or 9, yeah.
Honestly, anything that real me says, I just treat it like word from God. To be honest, someone that plays Darkest Dungeon that much is like, okay, yeah, I agree. He's a cool person. I like seeing some of his takes on things, and he gives really good advice at times. When I was doing the Darkest Dungeon 1 challenge collab just a couple days ago with Kilted and Name Not Loading, I was having some severe issues going on with that. It's like, my game closed and it was capturing my Steam, and then I had to use my Black Reliquary scene, and that captured, and then it was starting to capture the Steam again, and then when I did the game capture setting, it was capturing the game, but it zoomed really far in. It's like, what the fuck? It's like, because I try to capture Darkest Dungeon windowed. I don't like, because I only have the single monitor to work with, so I can't really set up a double monitor setup. I don't have the space in here. So I was like, I was stressing out. With that whole collab, there were so many tech issues in the first 2 hours. It was like,
Honestly, even on
That was-
2 monitors, it has issues sometimes. Recently, someone mentioned to me that they tried a recording, and, if you have it on your second monitor, it just works normally in borderless windows.
I haven't had an issue with it lately. It's so interesting.
And their issue was that it was displaced downwards by like 3 pixels, so you could just see the background even in borderless full screen. And it's just like, what the fuck is this?
How I have it set up, let me see if I can do this here quick, is I have Darkest Dungeon windowed because without it being windowed, I can't, if it's full screen, my mouse is displaced at all times and it bugs the ever-living hell out of me.
I've had that before.
So I have to have Darkest Dungeon windowed. Otherwise, I basically have to turn the mouse off because it's down and to the right by like half the screen at all times.
Why?
And it's really weird. So I have it set up to just capture any full screen application and capture a specific window, which is Darkest Dungeon at all times, and it just always fits my OBS screen it.
What is this black box?
Let's see.
What is this black box of a eldritch abomination that is this engine? Good Christ.
Even though I have it at the end of my list of notes, I'm very curious. What is this VSC Extension, Zotlan? The one thing I actually want to talk about. What is it? I am curious because I want to make a mod, and you're telling me that there's mod tools for the mod tools. I'm curious.
Also explain.
Sorry to put you on the spot like that.
Oh no, it's fine. So in VS Code, or Visual Studio Code, for those that have no idea what the hell that is a code/text editor, which is by Microsoft. And currently, the Awkward Teddy and I are making an extension for it, so that it supports the darkest quote-unquote language, which is the script language that the Darkest Dungeon engine reads in, so that it can process everything, mods, basically. And it adds, for one, syntax validation support. It adds, hang on 1 second, I have a list of current features and planned features.
So basically, it's going to make editing like info files a lot more easier and stuff like that and streamlined. That's what I'm understanding.
It's like a lot of quality of life changes and some automation, like autocomplete based on, for example, a planned feature is you have an effect file. If you want, you can call effects from the effect file and the heroes file more easily, so you don't have to switch around between the files and look for
doing
them.
everything in one screen, basically.
Yeah.
If I
And
That would make my life a lot easier.
there's also there's currently some minor effect generation, like you can right click in the effect file and you can just create like a stun effect, for example.
that sounds really handy if you just want to make like small little tweaks to a mod and stuff like that, but might actually be really helpful for bigger scale stuff too.
There is a bigger thing. One of the planned features is generating an entire size 0. That's for advanced
Wait, what was that?
modders. Generating an entire size 0 monster. That's for advanced modding, obviously. And the feature I'm currently working on is a built-in glossary, which basically, let me
I
start
like the
up
in-game
the-
glossary, right? But for the Bible. for modding?
Yeah, basically. Once I can.
So an idiot like me could make a modded hero.
I wouldn't call it anything, but yes. It's this one's both for starting, both for people starting out, and it also has information that it's nice to not forget, so you don't have to look it up constantly, like the effect order. But let me show you a quick example. Would be a good one. Let's go with this. Basically, when you hover above certain keywords or parameters, you get stuff like this. Basically, it explains to you what the hell you're looking at, which is rather useful. But also, for example, if you
Oh, that
have
is
like
cool.
viewing,
Let me
this
get this into. Oh, let me throw this up on my
Sibyl.
screen.
Yeah, I'll be editing this in.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I'm just
So
recording a blank screen
two
at the
good
moment.
examples. These two are good examples, I think.
This is freaking fascinating stuff.
Yeah, this one's a big update, so it's going to be done in like small pieces. As for context, someone else started the project coding-wise originally, so I'm working with what I was given, and there is a how big 2,300 line long array, and I have to write descriptions for everything.
Just a little bit.
Yep. A little bit of data, but there's also like it checks for syntax errors. It checks if the parameter can take certain values, like you can't make the target thing for the scale, for example, hello. It will throw an error.
This is fascinating, actually.
Yeah, it will tell you if you're doing something stupid. It will help you learn if you're
Like
starting out.
missing a capitalization, for example, like missing a capitalization or something in a line or whatever.
Deleting too many spaces.
I was
It's technically not an error.
Okay, fair enough. I was testing Jerry's steel driver rework last night, and he had a blue string in the tooltip of his Color of Madness trinket, where it was going, and Jerry said, "Oh, I'm the big dumb. I forgot a capitalization error that caused this entire cascading effect of errors, all because of one letter not capitalized."
While I was
I will add that currently. Go ahead.
while I was actually making the No Hope Estate and trying to originally make all of the vanilla heroes not have their stuns and things like that, I'm not sure what I did, but someone told me I had deleted too many spaces. I think it was on Stunning Blow or something like that. So I'm not sure if this was actually the case, but something I did in one of the vanilla hero files or something like that, or .info files, made it so the game wouldn't launch. So something like this would be amazing for me. Like the game absolutely just wouldn't even launch to the menu screen.
Man,
I'm sorry for the silence. I'm currently stunned. I'm a little stunned how you did that.
I find the most cursed things.
He finds the most, yeah, exactly. Just the most off the wall. I'm just going to say it right now. If you want, for any modders out there, if you want your mod bug tested, send it to Miacidae. You'll find them. just he finds them.
I will find the most off the wall broken things that you never knew existed, and then you will hate me for finding them because we will not know how to fix them.
No, I will hate myself for not noticing myself. Also, as a disclaimer, as a modder myself, I will say, if you're a modder, approach these two. They give good opinions too.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
But the problem is I haven't been able to keep up with some of my feedback these days. I'm like,
very full plates.
There's so many projects right now.
First. Yeah.
It's like, I want to talk about Ronnie.
There's a lot of mods coming recently and are in testing, which is very nice, but also not enough people testing to keep up.
Yeah, bit of a testing drought, it seems.
Yeah.
Plus, summer is coming around the corner. And, okay, speaking of summer, I want to deviate slightly, and it's not even on the list, and it's not even about Darkest Dungeon. It's two other content creators. It's not an adpocalypse, you dumbasses. It happens every 6 months. ad revenue goes down this time of the year after the holidays. It'll spike back up toward the end of the year, toward the holidays. Stop with the dooming and glooming. Okay, that is all.
Ad revenue's gone down. I haven't noticed it.
There will be a slight downward trend. Once you get toward like October and December, it'll spike right back up.
No.
Like you'll see a huge spike. It's the biggest spike you'll see at the end in the year. And then once December or once January hits, it just plummets.
Oh yeah, I knew about the December or the January one. I just didn't know about anyone right now because I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's like there's just a couple content creators going, "Oh my god, the subs are down. Ad revenue's down. No." It's like no.
Well, I assume
No.
it's like summer's coming, more people are home, so they want to keep it roughly the same, money-wise,
much.
what they have to pay content creators, since more people are technically going to be watching.
Yeah. Now, one thing I do, since we brought up a testing drought, kind of like maybe give some spotlight to some current projects in testing. The Nico, Ronnie, I don't know how to say it. The
I
flashy
believe.
sword dude, Cyan Flash. There's some really good mods out in testing right now. Really good stuff.
There are.
And just to point this out to everyone listening on my channel and Miacidae and all that, if you're ever in the Darkest Dungeon Discord, you're in the DD1 mod discussion, click that little pin right there up at the top right corner if you're on desktop. There will be a little thing called Work in Progress. All right, let me go look at myself so I'm not talking out my ass. WIP/testing mod list, a Google document sheet. And it's actually maintained by Zotlan here, who updates it periodically here and there. It includes links to the various different servers that host these classes in testing. I'm not sure how up to date it is for right now. I haven't really checked it recently, but I think it should. Nope, it's up to date. So
Maybe
I'm just looking at it right now. I'm going to throw it up on my screen for everyone watching. The link.
I'm going to edit it later.
Hang on, let me drop a link in our chat. So you can probably grab it in the future. And just to have context, I'm sorry, Miacidae, you're probably going to be editing a lot more of this episode.
Yeah, it happens. Also,
See there.
a lot of these are also in the Project Iron Crown, or actually it's just called the Iron Crown Discord. A lot of those work in progresses are kept there, just kind of shilling for them.
Yeah.
If you want to go there.
I forgot. What was that?
I appreciate it.
Gotta endorse the Iron Crown a lot more often. There we go. So I got it up on my screen.
Also, if you do go to the Iron Crown, please do the CAPTCHA. A bot will send you a CAPTCHA. If you do not do the CAPTCHA, you will be kicked within like 2 minutes. We've seen it happen too many times recently.
Yeah.
So many people have that bot specific blocked for some reason.
Yeah, if you're not getting the
So
CAPTCHA, see if you have the bot blocked. Like Zot said. I'm just looking at this test document. So we have the DD Court itself with the Vermin. Iron Crown, we have Messiah, Philomath Tweaks, Lunar Princess Ronnie, Milkmaid Overhaul. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's looking really interesting. It's totally changing her up so she's not a heal bot. I was going to use that in one of my videos recently, and it was going to totally change the party composition, so I had to not.
I am glad they're keeping the free action to be they're keeping the one action to be a clear stun, because I really like having clear stun on more than one modded class. I'm glad it became a somewhat regular trend to see on some newer classes. Just once in a while, just give me a clear stun. You know?
Right. I think the one thing that they said they're going to do about that, though, is it's going to be limited to once a battle.
I'm fine with that. I just want a clear stun. Just give me a clear stun.
Vote from what I saw.
It's like, one thing about it being
a vote that way.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that what I saw, they had a vote to either keep it the way it was, which is the free action heal, right? Hang on, let me actually find so I don't just talk out my ass.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up myself too.
A normal skill that keeps the mark and stun clear, or a strong single use free action skill.
Looks like it's a normal buff skill now.
Yeah.
1 by 2 votes.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm glad it's a normal buff.
That's kind of interesting, because when I looked at it, it was winning by a landslide to have the clear stun.
I just don't want it to be a free action, because you kind of have to like run it or feel. I don't like having FOMO on a class, to be honest. Fear of missing out. I feel bad when I'm not using the free action flat damage boost from Arbiter, for example. You know, the little eye thing. I feel like some moves it can be fine, but Lightning Hands is fine because it's like an attack. But for buffs, I don't like free action buffs. It feels bad when you don't slot them, you know?
Yeah.
It's like an opportunity cost. Whereas a free action buff or a move skill, oh hell yeah, give that to me any day of the week. And plus, free actions are just busted in general.
Yeah, they
So
can
much
be.
action like Vince.
I mean, even on like the who's the one I've been using a lot of, the Lawbringer. Just that first action pull, shove, impale. Jeez.
He's just strong in general.
I mean, yeah, even if you took those away, he'd be strong. Just give him the last four skills there. He'd be really strong.
Yeah.
But then you add in the ability that I get to maneuver him and the enemy however I want with that first round action. And if I give him something that stacks with like flat damage, each of those attacks gets a +1 damage or +2 damage. It gets really broken really fast. Or like
Yeah.
if you have a healing trinket on him where he gets the ability to heal on kill or heal on hit, that's a double heal for him.
Cross mod balance, baby.
I think, if I remember correctly, he had trinkets where he can party guard.
Yeah, his Color of Madness trinket.
Peak of
Crystalline.
balancing.
Now, it seems like free action is like a For Honor class staple. To be honest, if any other For Honor classes get made, I hope they do a free action just for the memes. Like Blackbriar, just throw a free action in. The defunct Apollyon mod had a free action. The fucking I think Hitokiri was going to have a free action. Just throw a free action on all the 400 class. You know, like how Bloodborne classes have the visceral attack. If someone makes another Bloodborne class in the future, if they don't have a visceral attack, I'll be looking at them like, you should have a visceral attack.
If you remember right, Jello/Wellington had a vote on what the next mod should be, and I believe Lawbringer won.
Yep, they're going to be doing a new Lawbringer, so it'll be interesting to see what that is.
Who Lawbros? So basically, we're getting For Honor all over again. We have a Lawbro already, but the Lawbro re-released as a hero class known as the Griffin. History is repeating itself once again. I like that. Because technically in For Honor, we have two Lawbringers. One is Holden Cross himself, like the hero class. They also released Warmonger, which is Apollyon or whatever, or someone like Apollyon. It's Apollyon. We know what the fucking Warmonger is. Has the claw, gauntlet, the sword, the works, everything. Jello has the Lawbringer for him one. That's fascinating. I wonder how his take is going to be on it. Because I love Exaelus Mods. I love Hedge Knight and stuff like that. Hedge Knight is a nice, weird... He's a nice little niche mix of all the tools that I want in a damage dealer. You know what I mean? Plus, he's affliction based. He feels like how Thrall... Don't get me wrong, I love my Thrall, but I think Hedge Knight is the proper Thrall 2.0, in my opinion. Am I wrong in thinking that? Because he's affliction based.
Thrall takes a lot more work to pull off than Hedge Knight, I think. So, yeah.
Thrall just punches stuff and crap like that and throws rock, but Hedge Knight has a little bit of nuance with kind of dipping into his lower health for the repulse and stuff like that, and you don't want him to get barbaric. There's more nuance to him than that meets the eye, and I really appreciate it about Hedge Knight. So this extension, though, is going to be pretty much helping people with the code in their mods. Sorry to immediately jump back to that, but I'm looking forward to it. Because
we also plan to add support for like buff files. Well, I'm going to just group them up as non-darkest script files. So like the localization files, which are just XMLs. A lot of the files are JSONs.
Yeah. So basically the bark files and all that stuff with all the lines and shit.
Yeah, I also plan to add some stuff to help with custom tooltip making because those
thank God. Yeah, thank God. I don't have to learn so much for custom tooltips. Well, I probably still have to learn, but I take it this extension is not going to be like a substitute for proper teaching yourself how to mod. It would just be like quality of life stuff.
Quality of life, and it does at least help with learning because just the glossary itself will help a lot, explaining what the hell what does.
Yeah. One thing
Now,
I
what you
think I
can do
requested.
with them is a different question.
Fair enough. One thing I requested for, and I think I saw you were talking about it in the Iron Crown Discord, like when I was like zombie mode, half asleep. You were like, "We're looking for suggestions." Immediately, without even thinking, it's like, give Bark something. I just want anything for Barks to help, finding the quotes and stuff like that, or highlighting the quotes, because
I plan to
I have
have
dyslexia.
that.
When I
Yeah.
look at the code, my eyes go cross-eyed. My brain just goes short circuits and everything, and there's smoke coming out of my ears every time I look at the code in Darkest Dungeon. If I have any way of just highlighting the dialogue between the lines of code, I'll be beautiful. That's all I want.
That is planned, yes. And I also plan to add a glossary for the string types as well, though that one is a bit later on.
Now, question: do you have any plans of adding modded strings to it or anything like that, such as Ringmaster or some of the more popular ones that, like the famous example that Blackguard has? I've been using Vixen because Salo writes an obscene amount of dialogue for their mods. So I've been using Vixen as kind of like my cross-reference for what strings I'm missing. Basically, the question is, do you plan on adding like modded strings to said glossary or whatever?
Plan to? I don't know yet, because keeping those up to date is a bit of a hassle, depending on how frequent we'll do it, but it shouldn't be an issue to add them.
Fair enough. Yeah, because we're not doing this for a paid job, so I wouldn't blame you if you're like, go, okay, we're just going to do vanilla and one and done it. If you want modded stuff, do it on your own time. Or
I will
reference a mod
say
that
that
already does it.
once the BR modding tools are out, the stuff that adds is going to be added to this.
That'll be the day.
So many people are waiting for those mod tools. So many people
This
are
will
waiting
be
for it.
the day when I die happy.
Speaking of those mod tools, your defect is shaping up to be fucking beautiful. That is it the armor or the weapon? I think it was the armor art where you see the gradually shifting head until the level 5 is like the Goku stare.
The
It's
actual
beautiful.
concept is provided by Sketch, who I'm very grateful for.
Now,
But yes,
I know I jumped into, for people watching and listening to this podcast, I don't do transitional material. You probably found that shit out right away. To give context, the Defect is a class from Slay the Spire, who's one of the 4. Unfortunately, I don't play Slay the Spire too much, so I can't really give too much context, but Zotlan here is pretty much doing all the art himself and all the coding for Defect, which is like absurd amount of modes, unless mod tools come and shortens that workload by a fuck ton. It's basically he's trying to recreate some of the mechanics of Defect's orb system for Darkest Dungeon. Am I correct in assuming that?
indeed. And that alone, to have a maximum of 3 orbs, takes 84 mods.
It, it, excuse me, 84?
What?
Yes, 84.
I thought 3 was a lot for Marvin's mod.
Now,
And I'd
see,
been
there is one thing I won't be doing myself for the mod, which is animation. That is going to be done by the Awkward Heady. Poor boy, is going to hang himself
Poor guy.
animating
Neat.
those mods.
Awkward Heady does some amazing animation. His work is
That he does.
looking at his beginning work and compared to his latest work,
Yeah.
Greymane, he's good. He's gotten really good. But
He has
84
progressed very
modes?
well.
How?
It's going to test. I was gonna say it's going to test the engine, but no longer 64-bit, baby.
That's true.
Another further emphasis, ladies and gentlemen, please use the 64-bit. It is just a straight upgrade. However,
I
I
will
forgot to
say
mention
that-
this. Oh, go ahead.
You will never notice that there are so many modes because it's all going to be backend. For the player, it's going to look like Defect only has 2 modes.
Ah.
So basically nothing like what Uncrowned does, where Uncrowned is like, I think 4, but it's not really 4, it's a lot more than that.
It kind of looks like cloaked,
He's-
non-cloaked, and poisoned.
He used to be 60-something. Yeah,
Like,
Uncrowned used to be 60-something modes. It got lowered a bit to help with scope creep, I would do that too. Issue is I cannot. I do not have such options.
But honestly, Uncron is such an amazing little goober. The little raven dude, awesome class by Awkward Hetty.
Agreed.
But
2 years well spent.
I've asked this question to Miacidae last episodes, and I'm going to ask you and any other guests we may have in the future. Favorite class mod? Because mine,
That's a hard question.
it's a tie between Thorn and Wanderer. Wait, did I ask you this, Miacidae? Favorite class mod?
I think so.
If so,
I said I
if
think
not,
it's
what's your
fine.
favorite class?
Mine?
Yeah, sure. I didn't catch Zot though.
I'm still thinking because it's a hard question.
It is. Especially when put on the
There's
spot.
so many of them. There's like over 100, almost too many.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
officially speaking, the workshop has 600 something, I think.
Yeah, but how many of them are like?
I thought it was more than that, to be honest.
But how many of them are worth using though? I'm not trying to sound mean or anything, but you know,
There are a few that are interesting.
I'd say about
there's so
half of
many.
it.
There's so many that are just like, I'm man at arms, but I'm this. Or Exaelus Mods. I mean, nothing against Exaelus Mods. Exaelus actually, to go a little off topic, is probably the most dedicated motherfucking modder in the scene, who does not interact with the scene. Have you seen how much work he does in his own little playground over there? Exaelus, I respect your grind, dude. Keep it up. He has a small little cult for his work. It's fascinating watching it from the sideline. Even though I don't use his mods myself, they're constantly being updated. Constantly. It's amazing. I might
He has
actually have
been-
to do it.
He has been keeping it up to date since, like, how long? I think, like, 7 years? Maybe?
Yeah.
And his art
I mean-
has gotten, like, immaculate. Have you seen the little red fella he made last time?
Yeah, it's the best
It
little dude.
looks absolutely insane.
Let me see if I can find it real quick, just to throw it up in the chat. The little rat dude.
Yeah, the rat is amazing.
I think for my favorite boss mods, I'm gonna have to give it to, for completely bias, Forlorn, because Castlevania in my darkest dungeon, yes please.
What a terrible night to have a curse.
That's a good one. I
A terrible night to have a curse.
He's actually a pretty good and fun class, and Castlevania, it's just Trevor Belmont's my favorite one too. So, you know, slight bias.
Hey, it's a nice bias to have.
it is.
Let me see if I can find this little
Konami
rat
make a
dude.
new game.
Oh, I found it. Loot Rat, custom boss, very last image in the Arduous Edition mod. Very last screenshot. I might, you know what? If I keep making YouTube videos, I might have to just do a complete series of Arduous Edition only. That might be fun.
Good luck with that. I know Batted. No, not Batted. Who was it that did that?
But
I think
just
you're thinking of
because like I have a couple estates already planned. I have my current one, my 60% health, or maybe is going to be 40%. I'm still kind of debating on going back and forth on that. But like I said, before we even started this podcast, I ran the thing from the stars and I saw how much health that motherfucker had. I'm like, my sphincter clenched.
perhaps it's time to reconsider.
I might still stick with the 60%, but there's a couple of estates that I have planned. I want to do the Death Moon, which is what Admiral Baru done himself. So I want to do that. I want to do an Arduous Edition run. I want to do a proper Black Reliquary run, but I can't really talk too much about Black Reliquary due to some...
I would
reasons.
say wait until Black Reliquary 1.0 comes out.
I mean, Miacidae, you know why I can't talk about it.
Yep, we're both in the same situation.
Because I'm like, I know things that I don't want to accidentally slip. And I'm like, I can't really make content on Black Reliquary right now because I'm privy to information. And I'm really bad at not keeping that information if I try to make content on it. You know what I mean? Because I talk without thinking a lot of the time.
For the record, neither of us know when Black Reliquary 1.0 will be out. They are working on mod tools first, then they have to finish other things. Black Reliquary 1.0 will be out when it will be out. It might be over a year yet. So we both
Also-
probably will plan on doing it. Just going to be a while.
Also,
But actually,
important
I
thing to
don't
note.
think. Yeah, go ahead.
Just one last important thing to note, and I'll hand it off to Zot real quick. The BR team are not officially Red Hook staff. They're doing this out of their own pocket and on their own time for free.
Yeah,
Okay.
there is that.
All I was gonna say is just the fact that I think even the beard devs know when it will release. Like, that is a question I don't think anyone can answer.
Yeah, it's like not even the BR devs themselves can answer that.
Yeah, they have so many things that they want to do. I can't get into what they want to do, but it's basically they're going to finish what they want because they want a good product. And I fully
Plus,
support that.
They're like 5 years on now and stuff like that.
I think
like
it's
5
going
years
to be
dev.
5 years next month.
Now, without getting into it too much, they did have a minor change in their dev team recently. Congrats, Jello! Congrats on your position. May your journey be great. But yeah, Jello got into the BR team. That was pretty fucking awesome to see.
Mm-hmm.
I believe they are on sound, I think.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, they did sound for Rampart. But yeah, that
Does sounds for a lot of mods. They're one of the few people you can actually still commission for it.
Neat.
Them and Iris. And I think Reth, whenever he's available, though he's mainly working on BR.
Now, we talked about this a little bit before we started recording, but the elephant in the room is the 27th. 3 days. Marvin's mod is coming. How you guys feel about it? It's just out of curiosity. Because me, I am optimistic because it's a Marvin. Everybody and their fucking mother are going to play it. I'm going to play it. I'm going to gush over the art. Marvin does some of the best art in the scene, I would say. I still prefer his style to a lot of things. I really love
He does
Jello's.
it so well, he got hired by Red Hook.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
contracted.
I really love Jello's
For
art
both
style
games.
too, with medieval stuff. But what are y'all's thoughts on the new Marv mod coming?
I'm optimistic, but the thing is,
Especially
for me, I've already started my estate. I've already locked everything in, so the new mod won't be on my no hope estate, especially with the fact that I bet it's going to be heavy on the healing side. But I'm really interested to see how it's supposed to have like 2 transformations or like 2 or 3 different modes or something like that. So I'm kind of
someone that follows the VTuber Lucid or whatever, Lucid Tabby. They follow the VTuber that this class mod is based off of, to where it's like they said it's like 3 mode pretty much. And with some of the gameplay snippet I've seen, the screenshots, I'm just nervous. I don't want Vestal 2, to be honest, you know?
Yeah, I definitely am going to be playing around with it. I might make a video or 2 on it just to, like, after I play around with it, see how it works. Because, you know, it's a Marv mod. Of course I want to play it. I really hope it's not one that's reminding me of a few mods that I really don't like, but we'll see. It was like a commissioned piece, though, so we'll see.
I doubt it will be like Grove Tender. No offense to the mod author for Grove Tender, but Grove Tender, you just press one button. You just press one button. Heal. AoE regen. You just press one button. That's it.
You are now immortal.
Yeah, restoration is like really busted. One thing I am very hopeful for is I really hope that I've seen like AoE blight and the AoE healing or restoration going on with the mod. What if the Sibyl is healing like the matriarch, where you're healing but you're also dotting at the same time? Because there's mention of blight in the.
I could see that, or one mode is dedicated to AoE blight, one is dedicated to healing. So I could see it going both ways. And then one is just like choosing your transformation or something along those lines.
But what really blows me away. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, because the VTuber it's based on is like a moth VTuber, right? So like choosing the transformation, kind of like the Ripperkin, before it goes into Feed the Beast would be mode 1. And then whatever you want to go into. That's how I see it kind of working in my head, but that's speculation.
The last couple Marv releases, he gave like a date, and then those mods never came to be. Infamous example.
Yeah, they were months late, weren't they?
Yeah.
Artist hasn't even come out yet, and it's been like 4 years. Is that? I don't know how long it's been since Artist, but Artist has been
Well, for
in
4 years, yeah.
concept. Like
She
he
started
set
either
a
in
date.
2020 or 2021, I think.
Yeah, there was a
And
date
she was
set for Artist.
supposed to release last April, I think.
Now, the thing about that is, I will say, wasn't the Seraph supposed to release on a date and then release like 2 months later?
I think it got pushed back. Yeah, due to I think workload. He said it was. I don't really follow his stuff too closely.
Yeah, in my memory is trash, so like I couldn't tell you because I can't really remember. I just remember it being pushed back. The one thing I will say is because this is a commissioned piece, he might have to put it out at some point.
That in itself is the anomaly with this mod.
This is the first and only commissioned class mod he ever made.
The only mods he makes are his work only. Like Marv is a triple threat. He does code, art, and animation, sound, the works. It is very unheard of for him to be like, well, hey guys, I'm working on a commissioned piece.
Now, that being
I
said,
think the only
As far as I knew, he. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, go ahead, Zot.
As far as I know, he straight up didn't take commissions at all before this. So I'm going to assume that this is an exception because it's Yuzu.
That's what I was going to say. I thought he didn't take commissions, but I know he's made VTuber skins before, and I'm not sure if those were commissioned or he just did those because he liked them so much. And maybe you can enlighten me on that.
He does have a couple more commissions for skins coming out real soon too. And
That's a recent change.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just saying that's a recent thing for him. He never really did anything commission-wise before.
He has worked with other modders. He's worked on someone else with the Banshee mod. They worked with... I think they had a couple monsters in... That weird fungal dude in the Wield, right? That stealths himself and he stands up on two legs. Isn't that also a Marvin
Yes.
artwork? So
He
some
has
of his
the
work...
Stalker. He has the Stalker in Wield. He has the Banshee boss as well. He has that...
The Bone Bishop.
God,
Sans.
that too, and the Bone Bride, I think it was called.
Oh, the Banshee? The Bone Banshee, or the Wailing thing, right?
Yeah, and he also has a few of his birds in the mountain of all places.
I've never played the mountain, so that makes sense, I suppose.
I think they just
I
said,
need to
hey,
play
can we use this?
Mountain now.
Sure.
The only thing I have issue with the mountain is the fucking CC disease that you can't get rid of.
Yeah. It has aged not so well.
I heard someone was trying to bring it more up to date, but I haven't heard anything on that since I heard wind of that. And that was like a year ago.
That would be Void and Vintage. It was a plan they talked about. I don't know if they ever going to actually go through it. Since
I think
there would need to be a few more birds.
A few more
coven.
I think they were planning to call it the Nest or something, and just like completely cannibalize the mountain region entirely and make it its own region.
Turn it into the Coven's region, bird region.
Fucking imagine a size 2 one of those owls with the big iron, but it's just called Bigger Iron.
Jabbo did sketch out 2 new Coven enemies. I don't know what happened with those. One of them was a big-ass penguin.
The fucking shoulder-mounted ballista.
Yeah.
That was great. I gotta find the picture for that. Last I've seen of Vintage, he was taking a small sabbatical or whatever. So, taking a break.
I was going to say, what happened to him? Because I got a little worried. They left all the chords I was in.
They're still doing well, from what I understand. They're just taking a break for the most part. That's what I understand.
That's what I heard last time as well.
Yeah, but nothing too big. As for some other things that are happening in the scene, we had my brain is not working right now.
Let's see.
Oh, right. I mentioned it in passing. I had a Darkest Dungeon 1 collaboration challenge run just last Sunday. I've announced it across the board, but if anyone watching, or I know you guys probably watched some of his content, Kilted Dungeoneer held a collaboration event, Draft Lock, where we get a third of the roster, basically. And my run, doing so hot. I already lost 2 of my dudes. I got fucked by my own. I haven't played Vanilla Darkest Dungeon in like 2 years, and with all the tech support crap we had going on in the first 2 hours of that collaboration and this, that, and the other. But I'm going to say that we're going to have another outing of that recorded or streamed on June 8th, 12 p.m. PST to 5 p.m. PST. Just a little show of myself because I'm involved directly with that.
Oh, that'll be fun. I tried to watch it, but I can't log into Twitch anymore for some reason.
Twitch be twitchy.
Yep.
It was really good fun. Name not loading and Kilted were a blast to talk with and vibe with. Talk between all 3 of our communities was something great. I would love to see more collaborations like that in the future, and I'm glad we could bring you on as well as that. I'm sorry we've been kind of like not letting you talk as much.
It's fine.
Your Visual Studio Code, is it called? What's the extension name properly called?
We just call it Darkest Extension.
Okay, the Darkest Extension.
It's a
Perfect.
bit basic.
But anyways, we have that, the Darkest Extension, to help with, help with coding and all that stuff. We have the VR modding tools coming. We have a bunch of just constant work in progress mods coming through. We have a bunch of new talent in the scene as well. Artists, Saber, Gathin, even one of my friends, Wolf, is starting to work on his art. He's doing VB. We have who else? There was another person.
I don't remember. There's just a lot of new people coming in, and there's a lot of returning people. If you didn't see the person who did a lot of the art for the heroes that were in the Pet Cemetery returned after a few years.
Oh yeah, they did the Rescuer mod too, and they posted up a little commission board. Lone Drifter, that's another artist that came back as well.
Hang on. Another artist came back a few months ago. It was... which mod was it? Second. The one that did the... I always mix up the name of this mod. The Templar, I believe.
Templar.
The one with the big ass header.
Oh, yeah, him. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
That artist also came back.
We were actually thinking about commissioning them for Bagpipe Class. Dragoon, that's currently in work in progress. But I think we settled on someone already. I don't want to talk too much about that since, work in progress stuff. But I mentioned their name in passing in that chat. Let me look at the commission board. I want to get their name.
Cadwin?
If we were a proper podcast or if I was streaming this, I would be linking this in the chat. I was going to stream it today, but I'm kind of coughing at random intervals and I'm like muting as needed, stuff like that. But
their name would be Pagus?
Oh yeah, them. I saw them. Let me throw up a little bit of their art here too, because they're pretty good. Yeah. Why can I never find this when I'm looking for it, but I always find it when I'm not looking for it?
Yeah, I feel that. I was like, I'm finding everything else, but...
here it is. Okay.
Another... I also mention the artist that's working on the Milkmaid overhaul. Lone Drifter.
Yeah, Lone Drifter.
They're also new.
And they're also going to be doing their own... We're finally Guys. This is big. I want to fucking point this one out. We're finally getting a swine hero. That's... Well, we got Gourmet, but he's kind of a big lad and all that stuff. But we're getting like a size 1, quote-unquote, swine hero. That's going to be fucking rad as hell. And I think the only thing we're missing is a pelagic hero. We have a bone.
There's also one of those.
We have skeleton. We have a mushroom. We have swine. We just need a pelagic grouper.
If you remember, there is that one guy working on a pelagic shaman class.
Whatever happened to that?
I haven't seen him in a while.
I hope he's doing okay.
Hopefully.
It was, yeah, let me see if I can find it. Oh, man, that's in the DD court, if I recall.
Yeah.
Man, this is a while back. I can't find it. I'm going to have to find it post-broadcast or something like that. But basically, someone was making a pelagic shaman for a class, and they were even doing the animation and stuff like that, too. But...
That sounds like it could be fun.
Once we get a fish duder, we'll have the trifecta. We can make a... I just want to see, for one day, or one time in history to see, I want to see a skeleton, a mushroom dude, a fish dude, and a swine dude in one party. Call it the Ugly Four or something, or the Good, Bad, and the Ugly, and the Ugliest. some weird the A team or something, or the B team or whatever. Just call them some random fucking name, or the
No,
unusual
we
suspect.
we actually have a hero for every monster faction besides Cove. We even have one for the DLCs. And the fucking is the Pogfish a yokai? I don't remember. No, he's a human that turned into a fish. Never mind.
Well, the pogfish or a practitioner, I guess he could count if you want to really stretch the line of having a mushroom fish skeleton and God, what was the other one? A pig in one team.
Yeah, but we also
But
have Bloodsuckers. We have Milkmaid.
yeah, Milkmaid is.
Crystalline Herald.
Yep, we got a lot of color madness classes. Surprisingly, a lot of Crimson Court themed classes, like Duchess,
Vampires are
the most
appealing.
famous one.
Yeah.
I just have to say, Red Hook's interpretation of vampires, fucking peak.
It was interesting, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. It's
God.
very unique as well.
It is peak. I love the interpretation. I love it. Me and a friend of mine actually debated about doing a Mothman class mod based off of Crimson Court stuff, but kind of dropped it for right now since, money, time, money,
Money.
effort. All that stuff. Pretty much money, yeah.
Yeah. Mods do be expensive.
But
Very expensive.
so, just like last episode, I was asking, what games are we playing right now? Hey, Zot, what are you playing right now? Out of curiosity.
Outside of DD,
Outside of DD,
well,
just
I play a lot of fighting games, as you know. Recently, the most frequent one is Melty Blood type Lumina. I also
yeah, that's the one you
started.
recommended me.
Yes.
I've been looking at it.
I also started Bolt Gun.
Mm.
40k Bolt Gun. It's very good so far.
But Bolt Gun is a lot longer than it seems, and I love it. I love boomer shooters like that.
Yeah, and they recently they announced the second game, and they
Really?
put out during Skulls, where they also announced a remaster, a 64-bit update, a recent trend of Dawn of War 1, which is
That would be amazing.
Okay.
mental. But right, so they announced the second Bolt Gun game, and they released I think like an hour-long little game that's free, that's set between the two games or something, which is neat.
All right.
Not
Man,
much else besides that, just the usual gambling games. Oh, and Hades too.
how's your Arknight's journey going?
It's something.
Yeah, the fucking chip farm is pain. Miacidae, what have you been playing recently and all that stuff?
So last time I said I was playing War Tales, I'm getting towards the tail end of that. I recently picked up Battle Brothers, which I'm having a rough time in that. Like, I can't get past day 10.
You're gonna make Jello happy. He loves seeing more Battle Brothers out there.
I actually asked him for some tips because I was getting my head bashed in so bad, and I've been doing slightly better because of those, but I'm still doing really, really bad.
Yeah, I've seen you posted a dude that had brain damage. I'm like, that's actually a good banner.
That's
right
the
there,
first good permanent injury I've had. Other than that, it's like people have missing noses, missing fingers,
Yeah.
missing eyes.
Yeah, missing fingers ain't too bad.
Missing finger
eyes
wasn't
suck.
too bad, but I forget what I had, but I had one of my melee dudes get something that had him have minus 35% melee and minus 35% range attack. I'm like, dude, you need to go away.
Yeah, I hope to start Battle Brothers on my channel sometime in the future. I keep, again, the constant cycle of, I say I'm going to do this, but I don't actually do it. But
yeah, I thought I might do it after I finish War Tales, which is a big when. I don't know when that's going to be.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's been Monster Hunter and Arknights that you got me back into.
You're welcome.
Getting that account back was hell.
It's one thing I've noticed that it's common for a small sect of Arknights players that also play Darkest Dungeon. It's like, it's a weird little overlap I've noticed there. I'm like, it's a lot more common than I thought, because I've noticed other people I don't actually talk to are familiar with Arknights in the DD court. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I better do bagpipe right.
Yeah.
You know? I know the CN community are like really into Arknights and stuff like that too. And I'm just thinking to myself, I keep saying but it's really Merg that's doing the coding and all that stuff, but I need to do the barks right. I need to do her barks justice. I'm really scared about that.
Well, you're gonna
But
find out one way or another.
yeah, one game I've been playing, and it's actually a game I said I was going to start on the channel, Stone Shard.
Yeah, I caught
Oh,
that. The music slaps, man.
oh, it's so good. I love it. It's such a good game. I've recorded a couple episodes of it already. I'm going to throw it up sometime next week, but Stone Shard is good. It's a turn-based RPG that feels like a dungeon crawler, and it feels like some aspects of Battle Brothers. It feels like some aspects of just many different things kind of crammed into one game, basically. There's a lot of stats. There's a lot of underlying depth to the whole thing. One thing I've noticed that one of the prevailing like strategies you can do is like you shout at people and you kind of kite them away and throw magic or arrows at them and stuff like that. So it plays like D&D, where fighting is the best strategy, and I
Yeah,
find that hilarious.
Yeah, Stone Shard is very good.
I was really tempted to pick it up.
Just kite
it's
them
going
away.
It's going to
should. It's
kick
really
you in the
fun.
balls, but it's very good.
Yeah, it's super brutal. Like when you die, you lose all progress back to when you last rested at a camp or inn, basically.
Ooh.
It's like old school save systems, but save points instead. There's no auto saving here.
Huh.
There's no auto save. It is brutal. I've lost like 3 hours of progress because I went up to the Oaken. I was doing the quest for clearing out the brewery or whatever after you do the first quest. And I just walk up to this brewery, thinking nothing of it. Some guy approaches me and goes, "Hey, you should clear out of here." I'm like, "Fuck you!" And I initiate combat. And I'm sitting here, I'm kicking his ass. Then from the north of me and the south of me and behind me, three freaking mongoloid-looking motherfuckers with hammers and shit come strolling up like it's the Funk Walk playing in the background. It's, oh shit, here they come, and I just died. I lost like 3 hours of progress.
Ooh.
I'm playing a build where I have a spear and crossbow where I can like fight the hell out of one person. But just out of nowhere, the dude's cronies just crawled out of the brewery like they heard it's free lunch or something stupid like that. And you hear the funk walk music playing in your head as they're slowly approaching you. Because combat is turn-based, right? And as you're exchanging blows with the people you're fighting, you see them approach one tile at a time after each attack. And you see three of them on all sides, like, oh shit. There's nothing you can do, because if you try to run away from someone when you're engaged, it's just like D&D where they have an opportunity attack and they can hit you, right? And it's a good game. I'm enjoying it.
It's absolutely brutal and difficult, but in the best way possible.
I love games like that.
And it's like, technically, it's still not released, I believe.
Yeah, it's like
But
early
boy,
access.
is it hard to notice. It feels like a finished game.
The
Like it's
best way
insane.
I can describe it is you make Dark Souls into a turn-based game with elements of like Diablo
Of
or
a
something like that.
TTRPG, that too.
Yeah, because the reason why I say Diablo, because there's so many stats. There's like you have your head, torso, arms, and leg health. Each individual parts of your body have different health bars.
Huh.
You have a million different stats for accuracy, fumble chance, this, that, and the other. It's kind of like a second edition D&D, basically. Like hardcore AD&D, all the works.
It also has
It
a
felt like I
loot
was playing it in...
system similar to Diablo, somewhat.
Yeah, the loot system, exactly, where it's like, it feels like you got your uncommons, your rares, and stuff like that. And they're like, the game is also considered a roguelike in a way, because every time you start the game, your starting map is randomized. No playthrough will be the same. There has a lot of replayability there, and each of the starting origins you have different starting skill trees and all that stuff, and they also have a unique trait that kind of changes up how they play and something like that. Like one person, you get more XP when you explore, and his trait is he wants to diversify into multiple trees, whereas other people, you're more focused on like one or two skill trees, right? There's a lot of... If you like creating builds in a game, Stone Shard is like the game to play. And you like turn-based games, Stone Shard.
I mean,
can't say
that's
it's praise enough.
the main reason I was looking at is I love turn-based games. I love hard games. I love I love D&D. It's been a few years since I played it, but I love it, and it kind of reminded me of it. So
Yeah, the build,
I was really looking at getting it.
the
Build variety is
itemization
insane.
is insane.
Yeah.
Itemization is insane. You can do little items, like consumable buffs. Let's see, buffs. Little. You can take a bottle of oil, chuck it at a motherfucker, and go fireball, and you just get blazed. You can take bear traps and set them, and cow traps, set them everywhere. And you can
I
also
didn't
have to.
ask how close the target is to me. I said I cast fireball.
Yeah, I've done that so much in the tutorial. I had zombies approaching. I'm like, you know what? Fuck you, fireball.
Oh yeah, I
In
want to
the
add
video,
the demo there is a free demo which will
Yeah.
also kick your ass.
I've actually played that, and the demo kind of held my hand a little bit because it allowed me to autosave right before the big fight. And I had two things of drugs, right? Kids, don't mix your drug. You'll start seeing sound and feeling you'll see sound.
Yeah, you see sound and you can smell colors. Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
And the game has that.
I took Nick Calf and Paragoric, whatever the hell it's called. I took two drugs thinking I'm going to buff myself to shit because,
Turns out
that
mixing
Elden
medicines
Ring
without knowing
gamer,
what they do is a good idea.
that Elden Ring gamer mentality. I'm going to triple buff and go in and kill everything. No, it was a massive debuff. The only positive buff I got out of mixing those two, 75% pain resistance. Everything else,
Yeah.
like -30, -40. I'm like, oh. And plus, I'm tripping
Yeah.
balls. But yeah.
Hey, fireball when you're tripping balls, see what you hit.
It's funny, when you take the antidote to get rid of poison, even the antidote has a negative side effect where your character just walks around like a drunk. Like, you go north now, they go. You go north, no, they go right. You go right, no, they go south. You go south, oh, they go south anyway, but they go left. It's funny. I'm sorry I went off on an irate about Stone Shard. God, it's a funny
As the
game.
last note, I want to say the art in that game is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah,
Like,
pixel
it
art
looks
is-
so good.
It's peak pixel, peak normal art, the promotion material art for it. The soundtrack, as Miacidae put it, is just banger. It's so good.
It is the best example of how indie games can be.
With going away from Darkest Dungeon even more, with how the gaming industry is going these days, I think we're going to see an indie renaissance,
I'm kind of hoping
Without
for
a
it, so
doubt.
I'm not paying $70 a game or $80 a game right now.
Tell me $80. Randy Pitchford.
Pay it right now.
Randy
If you're a true
Pitchford,
fan, you're going to
everybody.
pay for it. Randy,
Fucking-
you fucking bastard.
Yeah, he goes, oh, I'm just going to be a dipshit that I am and defend $80 price point. Whereas Darkest
And-
Dungeon is what, $25?
And it's on sale for 10, 5, how often?
Yeah.
Every time there's a major update.
Or holidays.
Yeah.
Or just randomly.
You were going, you were mentioning. It's actually, right now, at this very minute, at this exact moment this podcast is airing until June 4th, Darkest Dungeon 1 is 85% off. $3.74 for US.
If you've been
Cheap.
thinking about getting Darkest Dungeon, get it now, folks. This video is going to be uploaded before June 4th. Get the game now with the DLCs if you want it or have been thinking about it.
It
Plus,
is
the
cheap
DLCs
as
are
dirt
75.
and worth gold.
I have like 3,500 hours in this game, and I've been playing it for 7 years.
Between-
It's,
Yeah.
it's good.
Between how many times I've played it, I have very similar hours. I couldn't tell you how many because I originally bought it on the PlayStation. I bought all the DLCs on the PlayStation. I played it for over 1,000 hours on it. I then switched to it on the PC. I bought it again on this. And I have 1,500 hours on this, plus whatever I have on BR. So combined total of over 3,000 hours. Should tell you
Yeah,
about
yeah, like
what
similar
I've gotten
to-
out of it.
I originally
I-
bought the game on GOG, played it until like 2020 on like a daily
Damn.
basis. I think
It's
I must
such a
have
good game.
something like I must have like 2,500 hours, and then once it turned out that the GOG version is not supported or not up to date. Sorry, I switched to Epic.
It's somewhat supported
because
now.
oh, it's up to date now. Yeah, it's just it works now. And then I switched to Epic because they gave it away, and I was just like, I don't want to own it, and it's up to date. I think I have like
I
1,000
bought,
there.
I
Now
bought
I'm
Darkest
on
Dungeon
Steam.
2 early access on Epic, and I regretted it. I need this bitch on Steam.
Yeah,
Man.
especially with the new mod support.
I want to play more Darkest Dungeon 2, but I get not a lot of Darkest Dungeon 2 is weird to me. Some people are like, "Oh, I love Darkest Dungeon 2 over Darkest Dungeon 1. I love Darkest Dungeon 1 over Darkest Dungeon 2." They're both different games, and I'm glad they went the direction of we're not making the same game. We're making the same game but different, you know. Plus they did Kingdoms, which is kind of like the Darkest Dungeon 1 formula but kind of rehashed in a different way. And they did it all for free. That's a massive up.
I still have a quarter hot take for the people that just wanted Red Hook to make DD1 again, just prettier.
Well,
You're
there's
half of the problem of why the industry's the way it is, for fuck's sake. After buying Street Fighter 4 separate times because of different versions, I fucking despise that practice.
Oh man, like Todd Howard selling Skyrim to me 10 different times. Like, Todd, stop, please.
At least that one at this point is at least funny.
I'm a Bethesda fan until the cows come home. But come on, stop reselling me Skyrim.
Now it's Oblivion.
At least they came out with Oblivion, which I like more than Skyrim recently.
I'm gonna be playing that on the channel real soon. Oblivion Remastered. It's gonna be great.
I should get it. I really should, because I had 5,000 plus hours into Oblivion, and I really want to go back to that.
No mod support, by the way. Guess what? Day one, hundreds of mods.
You know the old meme video of the guy reading the Sims 3 patch notes?
Yes.
I did that with the Oblivion Remastered patch notes. I fucking died halfway through. Because there was a section introduced by and it was the funniest shit.
Yeah.
God. Also, speaking of DD2, would you look at that? The Occultist rework is coming out into testing.
Yeah, in a few days. I think this Thursday or something like that. I'm wondering how the Ritualist and Warlock are going to be.
It will be interesting to see.
I'm hoping for the love of God, Red Hook. For the love of God, Red Hook, please buff Weird Reconstruction. Please buff Weird Reconstruction. Please. Please buff it.
It really needs a higher cap to be able to use the heal on, I think.
It needs to be more accessible. It just needs to be more accessible.
Touch Ritualist's gimmick. For the love of God.
Let's see. Ritualist, that's the one that works with the curses and stuff like that?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really excited for some of the DD2 changes. I want to cover some DD2 content on the channel, but it's like, how do I make content on that? Like, the early game grind for that game is ball. I hate it.
Okay, so I just have to get this off my chest. I think I've said it in a video or two. The early game and the death spiral in that game is absolutely horrid. Just to point out how bad it is. Both of you know that I have a lot of DD2 content on my channel, right?
Yeah.
Do you know how many videos I have thrown away at this point because of those two things in particular?
How many?
2 to 3 times as many videos as I have on the channel.
Christ.
Jesus, fuck.
So that means, and every area takes me about an hour or two. So that means if I get to the second, or almost to the second inn, and then because of they're fixing this change, I have, say, a Grave Robber Deadeye, and 1 or 2 characters die. That Deadeye is now worthless in row 2. I can't win.
Yeah.
With the groups I had set up, I can't win. The Grave Robber can't do anything. And so I also had a Vestal set up how I usually do. The Vestal can hardly do anything. I need to now beat the Rampart with 1 character.
Yeah, it's like when you lose a whole character, and when you get to the end, well, I planned my run around these 4. Now I've got to add some random jackass to my roster who's going to not have their relationship up to snuff with the other 3.
Not only that, it's going to be negatives when you add them.
Yeah, it's like,
So that means I've thrown away hundreds of hours worth of episodes due to that. I am so burnt out on that game just because of that stupid little thing.
Yeah. You can't blame me.
You were saying that? No.
Part of the issue is that, like, right before the game released, Red Hook updated all of the monsters, balance and gimmicks and everything,
Yeah.
but not the heroes.
Yeah.
Leper is
We
still in the
have
same fucking state as he was in early access. That boy
Leper.
barely functions.
Leper he's good at two things. Well, three things. One, absolute fucking Chad. Two, staying alive. Three, staying alive. That's it.
Well, that's also part of the issue. He's a good tank. What's the issue with that? Flatulence exists.
Yeah.
That's also
Flatulence
okay.
fucking invalidates everything.
And
He has
oh, go ahead.
same move as an orphan child. That is not okay, Red Hook.
Okay. Monarch sucks. Poet is the only path you should play on Leper. At least Hellion. Hellion may be a little bit awkward to use, but at least she does fucking damage, and she has a couple interesting playstyles. Carcass is interesting for tanking, and Ravager is a fuck ton of damage. You know, you can make Hellion work. Leper just sits there. Just sits there, which is unfortunate.
And it's going to be a hot take, but I honestly think that some of the heroes that they already did reworks, like really early on reworks, already need reworks, and monsters need reworks. A lot of them do. Are they going to get it? Probably not, but that's my opinion on that.
I was so happy to
Didn't
see
spiders
Hollow
get
Vessel
nerfed?
buff.
Didn't the spiders
Yeah,
get nerfed
spiders.
recently?
Yeah, pretty heavily.
Fuck spiders.
Agreed.
I never thought the spiders would be worse than DD1, but they are.
Dodgy fuckers. They get high
Another
dodge
fun
and they
thing.
bind you.
I do know that they're going to be adding retreating or something like that in Confessions.
That is going to be huge, and that's going to make part of what I complained about earlier a lot better, so at least I can get to the Oblivion Rampart if someone dies.
Yeah, and selling items.
Or, like, when someone dies, I don't have to, like, fight through that.
Yeah. Like Shuffle said, the death spiral. It sucks.
Yeah.
It really sucks. Let me take a look at the update real quick. It's called the Steadfast Steward update. To where hero rework, academic view rework, tooltip rework, token glossary, miscellaneous changing such as test retreating and item selling and confessions depending on the constraints. We'll also look at ordainment, memories, and other systems throughout the game. So basically, what it sounds like, Darkest Dungeon 1 had a very similar kind of rocky road after its release kind of period. History is repeating itself. DD2 is having that rocky road that we're seeing. I think after maybe one more year, people years from now are going to be looking at DD2 once it fully gets its mod support and all that shit. They're going to look at DD2 it's like, this is fucking one of the greatest games ever.
Yeah.
I mean, DD1 was the same way.
It's just the road getting there sucks.
DD1, everyone looked at it as like, what the fuck is this? This is bullshit difficult and all that stuff. I mean, people still look at it as bullshit difficult, but now it's like Darkest Dungeon 1 hit mainstream. When people think of hard content, they look at Darkest Dungeon, yep, there it is. It is pop culture at this point.
Yeah. It's even in some mangas via references in like Dungeon Mesh has the old road.
Yeah, that was great. It's like it's such a unique game. And a friend of mine I know IRL goes, "How the fuck you making content off of one game?" I'm like, "My brother in light, my gamer in light, have you seen what the modding scene can do? Have you seen the crazy fanaticism about this game? Once you look, you'll understand."
Also, have they never seen a COD streamer?
Fair enough.
Like, so many people just make one game their identity, like Hearthstone or something.
Hearthstone I can see because Hearthstone is constantly changing. I can't see FPS shooters like Call of Duty or Battlefield. It's like, or sports games. Who the fuck plays sports games these days?
I don't know.
Enough people to keep EA afloat, apparently.
I guess the stereotypical Bob the Builder, they do their 9 to 5, they come home, crack a beer, and load up the fucking EA Sports is in the game. And they play some fucking FIFA. That's going to tilt some people right there. EA doesn't make FIFA, does it?
I think it does.
It does.
FIFA is EA, yeah. Yeah, it's like
Well,
their
they
main
play their
source of money.
NBA, their NFL.
I think NBA was 2K and EA together or something. No, never played these games.
I don't know. The only sport I know anything remotely of, because I played it in my earlier years, is baseball. And I can respect baseball. One, you got to be really fucking accurate to hit a ball like that, and you got to be a really good fucking cannon arm to throw a ball from that pitcher mound to the catcher and all that stuff. As for the terminologies, that's lost on me, but yeah, I like baseball. It's pretty cool, but I don't follow. I don't follow a sport, but I know of it.
I used to follow darts. That's technically a sport. I used to play it too a lot.
Is
Well,
as George Carlin once put it, darts is a sport because there's a good chance you can poke someone's eye out. A real sport is anything that has substantial risk of injury. Like,
Well, when you put
really,
it that way, basketball sounds like a sport because of how many times I dislocated my arms.
this is
like
by that
failure
logic.
in a bad neighborhood.
Esport is indeed sport because there's a good chance your opponent will beat your SIRL.
You know what? Fair.
Or mental damage. Either or, if you're playing League.
I can't play League, but then again, some of the unhinged shit I've heard of people being overly competitive in a game. Look at Eve, for example. Eve,
Correct.
the one story the most infamous story I know of with Eve, of over competitive tribal mentality. There was a fleet leader that was about ready to organize something, but someone IRL disguised himself as a utility worker and cut the power to this guy's house just before a big raid, and they were trying to coordinate and all that stuff, but they couldn't get in control of their fleet leader because their power was out, because some duder of a rival faction went to their house IRL and snipped the power line to their house. What the fuck?
That is so fucking evil. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
That is
You can
creative.
look it up. You could do the research yourself. It is one of the most well-known Eve fuckery out there. In fact, just a shill of YouTube channel real quick. History of Eve. This is a 8-hour video of just Eve documentary. Let me find this real quick.
That's
And just
unsurprising.
listening to this shit is like listening to war history. I shit you not.
Well,
It's fucking crazy.
when you consider, the guilds literally make you send them your resume sometimes to get in there, counting, I can do this, and you still get denied because you don't have enough skills to get in, real life skills. It's screwed up.
Oh my god.
There was an economy crash in Eve bad enough that it got in the real life news.
Fucking Christ.
That game.
Yeah, because Eve is pay to win. They have skill injectors and shit like that.
And they make
I can
actual
see
money.
that.
Actual real life money is made with that as well, I believe.
That was happening, and shit like that. You have literally entire cartels that would run gold generation for World of Warcraft and stuff like that. And there was a exploit that was found where a rival cartel was generating infinite money, and the devs at Blizzard were like, what do we do? And it turns out one of the people of the other cartel was like, hey guys, this is how this is happening. We're going to show you this exploit because it's getting in the way of our business. They literally outed
which was bad.
They literally outed how the exploit happened and stuff like that, because the equal the money field or equal the economy for the black market.
Yeah, it was getting in the way of the business so bad and driving the costs down so bad that we can't do business at this rate. They're going to destroy everything. Here you go.
We're going to undercut everybody. We're going to reveal our secrets for the betterment of our black market, or for other criminals doing this, and tell Blizzard how we're doing this shit. Circling back to what I mentioned earlier, EVE Online, Down the Rabbit Hole by Frederick Knudsen. It's about 4.5 hours. It is, almost 6 hours. 5 hours, 55 minutes, and 12 seconds. This video, from start to finish, I swear to God, it was like I was watching a fucking late afternoon World War II fucking film documentary of all the Axis power shit going on. And just all kinds of just crazy shit happening in this video. And this guy took 1 or 2 years or something like that. 2+ years, he was gone. He did not upload a single video in 2 years. And then 2+ years and 1,000 patrons boom, the deepest fucking research in a single video game ever produced. I'm just quoting a quote from the Spiffing Brit right there in the comments, but there's like almost 17,000 comments on this video and almost 5 million views on it. It's an amazing video to listen to. But Eve is, whoa.
It's a way of life.
It
At
is.
this point.
No wonder fucking Pirate Software jumped the fuck out of that hell pit of a fucking MMO.
Yeah.
Jesus. At this point, it's no longer Darkest Dungeon, you know?
Yeah, at this point, we're just talking about random things, aren't we?
I mean, I'm just going on random things just to spite that one comment I got.
Yep.
You guys know the one.
Yep.
Yes, I do.
It's like, 2 hours of Monster Hunter and Final Fantasy 14. I'm like, no, it was actually 16 minutes. Well, here you go. You got an actual complaint to have now.
Well, we're not at the 2-hour mark yet, so we have to keep talking. So with that being said, hey, Sorting, how's your new estate shaping up? Because I know you said you were starting the Madness estate. Have we actually talked about it yet?
No, I haven't, actually. My new estate is the 60% Blood Moon, pending 40%, just for those in the future, because of some fuckery with the thing. I have a very curated list. I have Swine Scavenger appearing everywhere, because why not? It's Blood Moon. It's going to be permadeath. There's going to be... Now, permadeath in the case of if someone dies, I'm still going to re-recruit them if I see a copy of them in the roster or if I get them back from Resurrection. I'm not doing this for a flex. I got to have some fun myself, you know what I mean? So there will be times I'll bend the rules of the Resurrection bit. Now, this will be a mostly fixed roster unless there's going to be like a banger-ass class that comes out of nowhere. I will be adding the Sibyl to this roster. The Horang, I'm going to add if he gets fully released. Ronnie, I'm still kind of debating if I want to include her, but there's a couple work in progress classes I included. Let me take a look. Let's see. I'm using Harlot with private rework. I am using the Steel Driver, which Jerry the Mouse or Jerry Pizza Hat, don't know what. I'm just going to call him Jerry since that's what I've seen others call him. He's working on Bluesman and Steel Driver reworks to kind of put him up to par. And the Bluesman rework is awesome. He's a bit more of kind of like a support, but the frontline bleed he has with that debuff kind of goes hard. If you get that rampant and stuff like that, it's pretty nice. The Steel Driver rework, it basically takes the summon and turns it into a frontal blight. So instead of the summon, being the TNT, it's just a frontline cleave blight. Perfect. Beautiful. He has a free action where he can clear stun. I think it can only be used once a fight, but it's a free action clear stun. Pretty nice to have. But other than that, he still plays mostly the same. He's got a little bit more accuracy, a little bit more damage, and his trinkets work better. And his trinkets are a lot better. Steel Driver is actually going to be a fire-ass class to run if these reworks go through for him. I think a lot of people are going to love the Steel Driver. Same thing that happened with the Paracausalist. I think the Paracausalist is maybe a little strong, but you know what? I don't give a fuck. My Ghostbuster Bonehead deserves all the best things in the world. Who cares? Let them blow shit up.
But Zahara, they're a weak class, haven't you heard?
Say what?
Haven't you heard? Paracausalist is very weak.
No,
you need to remove the Ectomorph bonus.
He's not. He's not weak. You don't need... I just remember seeing that comment. I'm like, let me make this montage video, the Parabuster. Look at all these crits. And that triple cleave was not touched in the adjustment.
Burst damage is absolutely insane. That commenter was on something and I need some of it.
Those comments are always the best because when you can prove them wrong hard, it is chef's kiss.
Miacidae, I want you to include this picture in the edited version.
Okay.
I have a meme specifically for this. I gotta find it now. You probably already know the meme.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
And this is an upcoming class mod by Saber.
Oh,
Silent Steam user.
Yep.
That is my fucking answer to any Steam comment going forward. Silent Steam user. I love Kilted for making the base for it. I just added the fucking text. Immaculate. Because it was originally Kilted that made like a little small 6-second clip for it, and he actually posted it up on his YouTube. If you guys want to go check it out, he posted a bunch of memes. But Silent Steam user, beautiful.
Oh, yes, a rat.
I did say before we would record this that things might get a little spicy here and there, and me kind of poking at certain comments I've had is what I mean by spicy. You can only do content creation so much without certain comments getting under your skin a little bit. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Hey Zod, how you think about the Project Moon fan base? Wild Hunt.
I would like to use my right to remain silent.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. So, for those that don't know, the Wild Hunt had a lot of Project Moon brain rot. Funny enough, I've been playing Limbus Company. It's not bad. The story is not bad. I don't understand the brain rot, but the game is actually not bad. The community, though, has been proven to be a little bit unhinged in a way. I will give it that. But I will speak very fondly that Limbus Company is really good. If you ever decide to look into it, it ain't bad. It's not Arknight's level, but I would say it's pretty comparable, I would say. Honestly, it's still a gacha at the end of the day, and I don't recommend gacha. The only gacha I will ever recommend to people play, Arknights. It's beautiful. Respects your time, unless you're chip farming. Fuck chip farming. In LMD, oh my god, I'm constantly broke. I make 250,000?
And then
Let's
you level
it's
up
gone.
one operator, then it's just gone.
I spent like $1 million LMD on because I sparked a Spectre Altar before the last limited banner went. I was like, you know what, let's level her up. Fuck it. I have a shit ton of supplies kind of backed up over the last, I don't know, 4 years of playing this game, 5 years. So I got plenty of raw mats for my operators. It's money I'm just constantly blowing through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Unfortunately, I do.
Zod, what level or what chapter did you get up to in Arknight so far?
Oh, well, that's correct. In the meantime, to also have a bit of DD talk, how about we talk about the... 1 second.
We could talk about Melty Blood if you want real quick, because I'm actually interested in playing it.
I was gonna say the latest bigger mod release being the Wargen.
Oh yeah, that dude.
That would be...
he is immaculate.
What's his name? I always forget his name.
Jen Greymane?
Gen Greymane.
Gen Greymane, yeah.
Yeah. From World
The
of Warcraft / Warcraft.
Dude, my favorite aspect of that whole class is the detransformation animation, where he's like sliding back. Oh, the Akira slide, basically.
Yeah.
It's literally the Akira slide.
Very good. It is the current peak of Hedi's art.
It looks amazing.
Hedi has done some phenomenal work. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we head off, Zot, sell me on Melty Blood real quick.
Oh boy, that is a complicated thing.
Because I don't play fighting games on the regular. I have played a little bit of Soul Calibur and Blaze Blue in the past, but it's not really something I do on the regular. Is it more of a twitchy kind of fighter? Is it like what kind of fighter is it? What is the closest comparison you could make? Because I played Street Fighter, Soul Calibur, and Blaze Blue as my main ones. I've also touched on Guilty Gear Strive as well.
Well, from what you played, it's closest to Blaze Blue. It's a very old series. It's one of the few series that was mainly PC based, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And it's made by French-bred and Type Moon, and for those that don't know, Type Moon is the same company that makes Fate, you know.
So Fate Stay Night?
Yes, that one. So this
is... The one that has broken containment a few times.
Yes, and there are actually Fate characters in the latest Melty Blood game, including, of course, Saber.
I do enjoy Fate as a series. Fate Apocrypha or something like that. It's peak fight animation. Peak.
Yeah, the story, however, is convoluted as fuck.
Yeah, that's the nature of Fate.
Same goes for Melty. It started as a visual novel at first. I'm trying to remember the VN's name, but I can't remember.
Dojin Circle's Type Moon French Bread is the meta sequel of Tsukuhime, Moon Princess. If I'm understanding the translation right, Suki is moon and Hime is princess. So literal French. Oh, it's an adult visual novel.
Yeah. As was Fate
Interesting.
originally. Fate was as well originally.
Yeah.
Which is why people joke about that. There is no adult content anymore, by the way.
Neko art. What the fuck? What?
That's where
Why?
she is from, Melty/Tsukihime.
What the? Is that?
She-
Why am I seeing Neko arc everywhere now?
This is where she's from. This is her origin. In short, the protagonist, there are three protagonists. One's a vampire, one's just a high school guy, because of course. And a Vatican vampire hunter.
Beautiful.
The vampire one is Ark, who Neko Arc is an alternate version of. Also, Neko Arc is God.
Huh. Well, shit. Alright, I will look into it. For those on my channel, don't be surprised if you see a bunch of new videos of me trying to get into Melty Blood at some point. It's part of my grand plan of, I want to diversify content, you know.
Do it.
Same
Do
thing
it.
with podcast. Like, same thing with
Branching
podcast.
off is never a good idea.
I would love to branch the podcast off to, like, still keep, you know, Darkest Dungeon as the main theme, and the whole goal of this podcast is to, like, bring modding information and news to y'all folk, the new folk, and all that stuff that aren't in on the know and stuff like that. And hell, we have a special guest here, Zotlan, who's a very prolific modder in the Darkest Dungeon scene. Eventually down the line, I would have grand aspirations to make this into, you know, stream new recordings of it and have art and build it up more than what it is now. It's mostly just audio, at least on my end. Miacidae likes to edit it and stuff like that. That's whenever I refer people to this podcast. Miacidae here is like, he has the definitive edition, man. He just will. He has the definitive edition. Just go to his channel and watch it.
Mine will be edited down to be shorter. It'll have most of the coughing edited out, and it'll have all the stuff. It's no problem. And it'll have all the stuff that we're talking about up on the thing. It also has some background music. I'm not sure if you guys have that going, but
I got zero shit going.
I have the Darkest Dungeon screen up right now, so the menu screen is going with that music. Actually, I should have done this.
The background, I have the Hamlet loading screen on my screen. That's it. Just the Hamlet. Let's see. I might throw some Kimura music going in the background or something like that. Now that I'm still very new to editing, not gonna lie, I don't know my ass from my head when it comes to working with DaVinci Resolve. So I just do like the most half-ass hot job you can think of. That it's kind of my excuse of, I don't do edits, ladies and gentlemen. It's kind of like, I actually don't know how to do it. I recently know how to add a little bit of music over the top of it. That's what that Parabuster little montage video was for. It was like me experimenting a little bit, you know?
I mean, I'm not the best at it, but if you got questions, go ahead and throw them at me.
I shall sometime in the future. It's mostly just like transitioning shit, you know, like making cuts and all that. And finding time to like put out audio. And for those listening to on my end, you might hear some kind of occasional feedback from my monitor into my microphone. When I listened back to it on the first episode, it wasn't too bad. Hopefully it's not too bad this episode either, but I don't care. I mostly just want to do this, you know, for fun. That's what this whole thing is for. This episode was super scuffed, but I had fun. What about you two?
Oh, yeah.
It's fun, yes. And the scuff just adds charm, in my opinion.
If there's no scuff, it's too practiced. And we didn't practice, right?
Who practices? It's not a wedding or anything. It's not a formal event. You're just sitting down, chilling, and talking and all that. That's pretty much what this podcast is. It's Darkest Dungeon themed shit talking with the lads. There we go. Now, I will apologize for some of the spicy takes I've had to a couple comments I've mentioned in passing. I will apologize right now, but those two in particular, one for the Pirate College list and one about the previous podcast episode, I just had to get it off my chest. They just there's certain things that people say just burrow in your head, you know? It's like, yeah, okay.
I mean, it happens to all of us.
Pirate College is weak, huh?
We all get heated in the moment of passion.
There's tons of comments I just want to dig into people on, and I think I've shown you a few of them, and I end up not.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I've also learned it's also important that we have to watch what we say on content creation. It's very important to watch what we say because sometimes things can be taken out of context, and it's never good when that happens. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's why over the past few months I've been kind of toning back my negativity a little bit. It's hard, but I like to think people like my crackhead energy where I'm like, just unhinged shit now and then. Actually, I don't know why people watch me. To be honest, I've gotten 1,000 subs.
I mean, congratulations on that, by the way. Hitting that 1,000's a big mark. Evidently, someone likes you.
I know. It's like,
As for why people watch you, it's because you are entertaining.
it's still mind-boggling. I'm not gonna lie. I'm never gonna get used to that. It's like, oh shit.
I mean, to put this in perspective, I started my channel just uploading videos that I just kind of wanted to do for myself. And people watch those.
Still do.
So, for the same extent, people watch me, people watch you. They like it, keep doing it.
Yeah, we have a very... our audiences are intermingled with each other. I'm not sure if you ever looked at some of your subs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You can see who they're sub to and stuff like that. And your name pops up in a lot of them.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of them. Like, just a fuck ton of them. Slusher and Jobstar will pop up here and there, too. But there's a lot of them that are just sub to you. Like, we kind of share the same crowd, it seems. I think we appeal to... Well, I'm not even going to speculate on that, but... Well, no, I will, because I think we appeal to just modders that want to see, like, their mod classes played in content. And we also appeal to people that just want to see modded Darkest Dungeon being played, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of the old greats are no longer around making content, like Sibyl and stuff like that. You know, they moved on. So we're kind of, like, filling the void in that space, you know?
Yeah, to an extent.
But another great person to watch, Hilted Dungeoneer. He does mostly the streaming and stuff like that. Fantastic person to watch here and there. I like his stuff. Plus, I'm doing like I said, that collaboration challenge run with him last Sunday and June 8th, stuff like that. I'm hoping, I don't think name not loading is going to lose 2 heroes too quickly, but I'm going to get my little voodoo doll and poke the Arthur doll a little bit. Let's see a shield breaker or 2 die, Arthur, or Squire Gilted. Let's see a shield breaker die. Let's see a Hellion die. Just poking it with a voodoo doll.
Just,
I think name
just
not loading
grab a Arthur voodoo doll and a redhead one, and just have the redhead one touch it, and Arthur will just phase out of existence.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm behind in that Lordo challenge, 2 deaths, weeks 3 and 4 back to back. I'm like, that second one I could have prevented with my Houndmaster blocking my Occultist. But basically, like I said, I mentioned it before, but just to quickly run down what the rosters are. So the draft lock, third of the roster goes to me. My roster is Houndmaster, Occultist, Abomination, Bounty Hunter, who else? Crusader, and Jester. That's my 6. Very well-rounded group, I would say. I have Solo Jester, I have Crusader for Holy Lance, I have the Houndmaster Occultist duo, and Abomination just for some midline shenanigans when, you know, I don't have any Houndmaster Occultist synergy going on or whatever, just for, you know, manacles and broken keys shit, or rake. Abomination, I think people give Abomination a lot of shit, but I think he's pretty damn well-rounded and pretty good in certain situations where if you need some damage, you got damage. If you need stuns, if you need blight, you got blight. He's not terrible. He's not the best.
And if you need emergency damage and emergency something dead, pop him into beast form. Bam.
Beast mode is leper with accuracy.
Yeah, he's not the worst hero ever. And like the downside is his stress. But I got Jester, baby.
Yeah.
That was a very calculated pick on my part, by the way. I picked Jester first, knowing that I'm probably going to get Abomination last. And I got Abomination last. It was a pure calculated effort. But I feel bad for Kilted. The only stressing healing he's got is Gallows and Quarantine. That's going to hurt. Because he's got Hellion, Shieldbreaker, Vestal, Leper. What are the other 2? I don't know. I don't have the thing. Name sniped both Arbalest and Musketeer from me. And he's got Man-at-Arms, and he's got Antiquarian, and he's got Flagellant.
He also has Plague Doctor, which I thought, wow, he's got a good team.
I was going to snag Plague Doctor. I knew Plague Doctor was going to get snagged by someone. she wasn't going to last. It's like, if I was talking with a couple of people, like, I said to myself, as long as I can grab, like, Howlmaster or maybe a Cultist, or if I can play into my favorite strategy of Mark teams, I'm golden. And if I can play into my Mark teams, as long as I get, like, Crusader or something like that, something with just a good general all-around lad for good damage, I'm golden. I got Abomination and Crusader. I got 2 flexible dudes for that kind of thing. So I think the only problem I'm going to have is maybe Countess. DD2, I have Howlmaster Guard, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the goal is to kill all bosses, including Crimson Cord and Sleeper. Sleeper is a part of that too. Endless, I think, is going to be hard. Enough talking about me. We've been running for, wow, just over 2 hours and 15 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, Miacidae and Zotlan, this has been really fucking fantastic. The power double hour of banter and fun and all that stuff. Before we go, I just want to say one quick thing. Just one quick thing. Again, I don't got it. Where was it? Oh yeah, go take a look in the Darkest Dungeon Discord. Look at mod art and look at what Kirby is hooking up. A bone musketeer. Like, more enemies. I think being more generic, dude. Like, more generic enemies in, like, factions and shit like that. More brigands, more skeletons, more pelagic dude, more drowned dead, and more fungal dudes. I think that's a fun idea. Because a really old mod where they were, like, making, like, variants of enemies was a novel idea. But seeing, like, unique art and animation for that would be pretty cool. Anyways, Miacidae, you ready to wrap things up?
Aye, sure thing.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Stresscast. It has been your host, Sorting Helmet, and
Miacidae.
And our special guest, Zotlan.
Could hardly hear you there.
God damn it.
Yeah, you cut out.
It has been Zotlan.
Anyways, our special guest is Zot. Thank you for coming on and all that stuff. Thank you for sharing some information about Defect and the Darkest Extension, or the VSC thing.
Yeah, sounds like it's going to be super useful.
And having
Indeed.
And thank you for taking some time out of your day to just jump on and talk with us. If you ever want to jump in on future episodes, go ahead and poke me or Miacidae any day or something like that. We haven't really had a schedule for these, but hey, you're welcome anytime on if you want. It was really cool just having another person on.
Sure thing. And if you guys want me anytime, just yeet a brick at me.
Yeah, will do. I'll find one.
Yeah. Plus, it's just fun having a modder on, just to have modder insight into mod user insight and all that, and have that cross-reference going on, Even though we haven't really dug into things as much as I thought we would, like, maybe one day we'll pick a mod and just, like, crack that bitch open like a soft-shelled crab and, like, or hard-shelled crab and just, like, pick at the guts and look at shit, That would be a fun idea.
If we do that, we really need to get one that, like, has some weird mechanics on the inside.
I could pick a very good one for that.
There's a couple like that. A couple Hauser mods can be like that. A couple, it's like, no offense to Hauser, but Jiangxi is a little bit weird. Nosferatu is a little bit weird as well. And there's a couple old dated mods and stuff like that. It just could be fun.
Or if you look at Saw Hunter under the hood, oh wow. Or Forlorn.
Saw Hunter's great though.
Might I recommend?
I mean, they're great. They're just weird under the hood.
Looking at on ground.
Are they really that strange under the coat?
Forlorn, for example, has, I believe it was 6 or 7 different variations just for the whip.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I actually almost took them out of the estate because of how much trouble I was having taking the stress heal off of the whip, because there are that many variations of just the, like, first skill.
What the fuck? Okay, I need to start poking at the code on some of these mods a little bit more often, because Saw Hunter being as crazy as it is, I didn't expect that. It seemed like a pretty simple class.
It seems like it. Forlorn was way worse, but Saw Hunter I actually haven't fixed all the way. Like, I could not find a way to fix.
Who did the coding for Forlorn?
Sasiji.
Sasiji, brilliant mind. Brilliant person.
He came up with the majority of our workarounds.
Looking at their code, I was like, what the hell am I looking at?
You want to
no.
go off the deep end?
Sure.
Look at Dredge and Uncrowned.
I looked at Uncrowned. Okay, speaking of the Dredge,
The best start pack.
the Dredge has a new version out, which is still strong, but you know what? I don't give a fuck. It's playable. The Fire Edition Dredge is a complete rework of the Dredge to where it works like the Abomination. It's great. I love it. Guilty pleasure because, hey, I went this entire episode without talking about fire attacks for once.
Arson do be fun.
But the new fire dredges. But anyways, this has been fun. We've been wanting to end this for a minute, but ladies and gentlemen, this has been Sorting Helmet, Miacidae, and Zot. Miacidae, you have any closing words for our viewers and all that stuff?
Not that I can think of, other than if you join the Discords, do the captchas.
Do the captcha. Make sure you don't have the bot block, or else you'll get kicked. I think both the DD Cord and Iron Crown are like that, right?
It's the same bot too.
Well, shit. A lot of people block that poor bot.
Yep.
Poor bastards.
So if you're
Anyways,
getting kicked out, you know why. Just PSA.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you when I see you. Take care and bye.
As always, wish you all well. See you next time, and please have a good one.
Insert
Everyone.
wailing wave.